Everyone, once again we are here with another live trade session on Nasdaq futures. Today is 20th and we have around 3 minutes and 15 seconds to the opening bell. I'm going to have a very quick review on the market, what has happened during the previous days in trading. So we are jumping into the day 15-minute chart. Sorry, we have it over here. Very quick review I would like to have over here. We have yesterday, after we had the low over here and we traded all the way up over here, cleared the buy side liquidity above these relative equal highs over here in the morning session up to launch macro, and after that we have a kind of retracement lower and we closed very close to the high of the day, and we have a very small new day opening gap for today's trading session. We have traded above that and cleared the buy side liquidity over here, then we started going lower and now we are trading in a consolidation phase over here that is inside this big inefficiency happened with the new week opening gap and this very big candle down close candle. So we are jumping into the 5-minute chart, and we sorry, I forgot to mention the draw on the 15-minute chart to me can be this relative equal lows at London session, as if we clear these lows over here before the opening bell, the bias to me will be bullish, trying to reach to this relative equal highs over here that are very smooth resting above the marketplace. So we don't need this level over here, and only I'm highlighting the closing price at 415, 414, as this is the settlement price, and we can carry this in the future to see the opening range for today's session. Now notice that over here we cleared all of the sell side liquidity resting over here in the 5-minute chart, and we have around 15 seconds to the opening bell. To me it's favorable to send price lower to clear also this sell side liquidity at 21,393, and then starting sending the price higher to the buy side liquidity over here. This buy side liquidity is also just below the settlement price of yesterday. We have the opening bell for the market at 21,413, and yes, now the market started going higher. Let's wait for the position for the first presented fair value gap and how the market is utilizing these informations over here. All right, now the sell side liquidity over here is my first attractions again. Okay, now I'm connected back, and let's see how the market is working. Remember that the sell side liquidity below this new day opening gap of 15th low is optimal and desirable. After that we can start searching on prices in higher prices, but so far I'm just waiting. I'm I know I'm a little late today. I'm sorry, I was preparing a video to post on YouTube. That is the trade review of yesterday's session, AM session. And I just uploaded that. You can watch the video after or whenever you feel like. I reviewed the positions of yesterday's trading and I explained you in more detail what was going on my mind for each positions. Alright, now we are gyrating around the first presented fair value gap of last Friday. So far we don't have any first presented fair value gap formed for today's trading session. Now we are trading inside this order block in 1 minute chart. I'm waiting and trying to see if the market is respecting the mean threshold of this order block over here. Mean threshold is the 50% level of the candles range, or the midpoint basically of this range that's created by this white candle over here. Now so far the market is respecting the lower half of this range, and this is nice. This can send the price lower to reach to this swing low over here. Let me highlight this as our sell side liquidity. Alright, I changed my ISP for now, and I hope you don't have any problem for internet connection like yesterday, because yesterday the connection was dropped and I apologize for that. I would like to also see the reaction of the market to this midpoint of this week. This is the longest week in this area, and so far this candle closed above the consequent encouragement of that. Now we tapped into the new week opening gap high, and let's see if we can create the first presented fair value gap over here or not. 10 seconds left. And yes, we have this first presented fair value gap. I'm setting a position for sell. The stop can be over here. And target is just below the new week opening gap. That is also the sell side liquidity of yesterday's AM session. We touched the low high of the new week opening gap, and Now you're trading lower. We hit the sell side liquidity from London session over here, and we have the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap resting over here, as well as the sell side liquidity from yesterday's AM session. Once again tapped into the opening price at 9:30, and let's see how the market is behaving over here. Well, the market is getting closer to my stop loss over here. Probably they're going to hit my stop loss. But note that we cleared the sell side liquidity from today's London. In the 5-minute chart, you can see the dashed red line over here is pinning to this candle's low at 210. Once again, we try to reach to the opening price of this order block, and let's see the reaction of the market over here. Okay, we got out of the position, and there is not a problem because we can have another position for going long, probably because we have this buy side liquidity resting above the marketplace. So from this first presented fair value gap, I would like to see how the market is treating it, and if it gives us any opportunity or chance for going higher. Well, now the level of volatility in the marketplace is very high, and it's a very wild market, so it's better to stay safe and out of the excitement for the first 30 minutes in the marketplace. Then after they do their damage, we'll see which side of the market is clear and has smoothness, so they're going to attack that side. Well, now we are trading in this candles week, and my eyes are at the consequent encouragement of this week. This is extra, we can leave it off. Once again, trading into the first presented fair value gap. Yes. Now I'm just waiting for the market to give me some more insight, but so far I don't have any clear indication of the price move. To me, after clearing this sell side liquidity over here, I was expecting to go lower and clear the sell side liquidity below the relative equal lows on yesterday's AM session, and after that starting going higher. But so far the market is behaving differently and not listening to me. Maybe I need to call the market maker once again. Well, you can see they're just going up and down both sides of this first presented fair value gap today, and they don't let anyone to be in profit. So it's the best to sit still and do nothing unless we get some more information from the market. I like the fact that we closed inside this first presented fair value gap in the last candle. And let's see if the market is trying to reach lower prices and going lower over here or no. In my opinion, no, the market should not go that much low. And here you can see they are respecting the midpoint of this week over here. That is the longest week among all of these weeks. My eyes are in the at the midpoint of this week over here, and let's see how the market is utilizing this reference point to send market higher for reaching to this buy side liquidity over here. We tap into the new week opening gap once again. Well, now we traded below this sell side liquidity of London session and now reaching to the relative equal lows from yesterday's AM session that are at okay, we just cleared the sell side liquidity of yesterday's AM session, and that's that's pretty nice as I was expected. So let's see if we can reach to this consequent encouragement of the current new week opening gap. If we get into this area over here, I would like to go short and aiming for the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap. Okay, so far we see the market is still not traded into the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap. I reduced the risk to a little lower than break even. So if the market goes higher, I'm not losing anything. We just traded into the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap, and let's see if we can trade lower and go to the target of this trade. Okay, we got out of the position in profit, and let's see. Once again, we are trying to reach the first presented fair value gap over here, and I would like to set a position for sell on this first presented fair value gap to go lower. Okay, we got into the second position over here. We expect the consequent encouragement of this fair value gap from Friday and tapped into the order block over here. Once again traded into the first presented fair value gap of today's session. You can see the level of wildness in price so high for this morning, and let's see. I'm expecting to see a run lower, something like a big red candle, like this white one, but a big red candle. Once again, we traded the high of the new week opening gap, and now let's see. I'm reducing the risk above the consequent encouragement of Friday's first presented fair value gap. If we have a close below this red dash line over here, I will bring the stop loss below the opening price at 930. Okay, now we are getting close to our take profit. Note that once again we traded into this sell side liquidity from London session, and we tapped into the Friday's new day opening gap. We have a little volume imbalance resting over here. As well as this volume imbalance over here. This is a very poor price action. Well, now I'm expecting a run lower, a big red candle. Placing my stop loss above this candle's high. I would trail down my stop loss above the new week opening gap, because now we closed a little suspicious over here, and I don't like this fact in this candle. Okay, we got out of this position, and that was the business for now. So far, very nice run from the first presented fair value gap of last Friday. Failed to hit my TP, that is somewhere around here. We fell short to touch that, and you can see the candles are overlapping pretty much too high, and this is not a very nice price action to deliver. But so far you can also see the objectives for me was delivered perfectly. The consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap is delivered by how much? It's 55.50, and the low of this candle is 54.75. This is only 3 ticks, and you can see the market has a very nice reaction going higher to the first presented fair value gap of today and on Fridays. So far you see that this volume imbalance is successful to keep the price lower, but because the level of volatility was quite high, I didn't want to spend time over here to keep the position on. But still, to me, the bias is a little bearish towards towards this consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap. And after that, we can have a nice, if we can close above this Friday's first presented fair value gap and above this order block, I'm considering a position to go long for hitting the buy side liquidity over here at 21,487 and this uh, settlement price of yesterday's trading session. Okay, so far we closed above this volume imbalance and once again tapped into the first presented fair value gap. After hitting the first presented fair value gap, we started going lower. So this is a good run. Well, once again, we are trading below the new week opening gap low from last Thursday that had the sell side liquidity over here. This run from this first presented fair value gap to this candle's low is a little bit less than 40 handles. I'm measuring these 3 candles over here. Still, we are trading inside the new day opening gaps from last Thursday, and we are looking for the price. To me, we have the potential to go lower below this swing low over here. There is a small volume imbalance here. Now I'm looking to this inefficiency. We have institutional order flow entry drill over here, and we traded inside the fair value gap over here and started going lower. The objective would be the consequent encouragement over here. I'm placing a sell limit over here. After hitting the consequent encouragement of this fair value gap, the market rejected and started going lower. 。 Well, I was thinking that this is my fourth trade for today's session, AM session, and so far we are not in a good hand. We had a little bit loss, and now this one is very close to the stop loss. Alright, we got stopped out once again, and yeah, today is very difficult session. It drained a little bit my energy, and I wasn't expecting it to be very difficult. I was expecting that this trade over here comes down and hits my target instead of going back to the first presented fair value gap again. Or even the first trade I was in trying very nice, and it had a very nice reaction to go here, but it didn't reach to my TP. Now to me, I guess they already did enough trading in this lower part, and I'm interested to see price start going higher for over here. Let's see, and I'm waiting for the market to give me some hinges, some high wings for sending price higher. The fact that all of these levels are resting here in the marketplace made it quite very difficult for the price and the market to take out of this area over here. So it's there is the market is staying in consolidation phase over here with a very big wicks and up back and forth reaction, because we have several new day opening gaps and several new week opening gaps, as well as the first presented fair value gaps. These are all important points in the market. So now I would like to use that fair value gap as a inversion one and send price higher. This could be my last trade, and I will trade it like this here. Let's be a little, I don't know, dreamy. Now I'm in the mood of gambling numbness. I'm just bored here and want some dopamine injection in my blood. This trade is actually the only reason for this trade is this. I don't have any other explanation. We got into this position, and let's see if the market is reaching higher prices for that buy side liquidity. I don't care about the result of this position over here right now. I just wanted to kind of inject some excitement, some happiness to myself. I know the level I put my target, my TP, is pretty far from this market condition to reach, but it gives a kind of good feeling for me thinking about reaching that level over there. Now I bring up my stop loss below this red candle's low. If we have a close above this first presented fair value gap over here, this would be a sign for sending price higher towards this buy side liquidity resting above the marketplace. But I require the market to close above this first presented fair value gap from Friday. So far they are respecting the consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap for today's trading session. Once again, we traded inside the first presented fair value gap of Friday. Another close of candle around the consequent encouragement. We had a response from the first presented fair value gap of today's session. And this position also got closed. We have this breaker over here. I would like to reconsider this position once again. Now I see in the market that we have this low high, lower low, and this four white candles are breaker to me. So now let's see if this analysis is acting correctly. Also, we have this inversion fair value gap. these two coupled together, I'm expecting to see a decent price higher. These high resting over here are relatively equal, and these are kind of engineering liquidity for smart money. In the smart money concept, you can see this type of behavior in the market is engineering liquidity, because those who are going short will place their stop losses above these swing highs as they are retails, and the smart money will attack the stop losses of these people over here. So that's why I placed my target over here and not here. It has the ability to go higher to reach over here, but I don't require that much. I only care about these relative equal highs to be swept. Well, they decided to sweep my position instead of relative equal highs. Yeah, this was the business for today. Guys, I had a lot of position and not a positive day. This morning session is very dirty, you can see. The best delivery was from this first presented fair value gap over here to this consequent encouragement. And the second time I was expecting over here to reach to my target but didn't. So, the market is tiresome. Still trading around the sell side liquidity from London's low. Alright, I think I'm going to close this stream for today's, and so far we traded. I'm happy that the objective of this sell side liquidity over here, as well as this consequent encouragement of the new week opening gap, was delivered very nicely. But I'm not very happy on my performances over here. As you can see, I did too many trades for today's session, and I don't know, this is not the best option, the best thing to do. It's just hurting me and myself. That's why I have to stop over trading, doing a lot of trades. In this case also I have to put a lot of effort to journal all of the positions I opened here, and I don't know, this is tiring. I hope I can overcome my character flaws, this over trading, overthinking of the positions, being a little greedy like the one I had over here, and in, in total be responsible for my positions, for my trading, for my business. So till talk to you another time, hopefully tomorrow. Have a very nice day and happy trading.